everyone, welcome back to the Whatever Happened to the Gentleman podcast. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, the YouTube. Just on that, if you do prefer to listen to me in your ear, then these episodes are all on the Whatever Happened to the Gentleman podcast. And if you're listening on the podcast, you get to see my face on the YouTube. So go do that. It's at the SMr&x on YouTube, of course. Last episode, we talked about whether the internet is ruining your chances of dating and having a fulfilling relationship. And this episode, we're going to dive into online dating profiles. Most of you know I'm not that keen on the online dating profiles, but I know that there's so many of you that use online dating, and I always advise you get straight off the app as soon as you can. But I also acknowledge that a lot of people are working from home and they can't meet people in person. If you continue to listen to this podcast or the YouTube, either way, please subscribe so that you get notified. I will advise you on some really cool ways that you can go and meet some people in person rather than using online dating, because I do feel those authentic relationships where you meet just randomly and actually just decide, oh yeah, I do like this person, are always the best. My personal opinion. I met my husband face to face. He actually shook my hand the first time I met him, and that we were working together. But that physical connection, straight away, he shook my hand. It was a professional environment, and I instantly knew that I liked him as a person from that first moment. So yeah, meeting in person has a massive effect on whether you are interested in this person or not. For those that don't know me, if you've not listened to previous episodes, I'm SMr&x. I am a former probation officer turned men's healthy sex and relationships coach. What makes me qualified for that? Well, I have a degree in helping people change their lives. I have delivered hundreds of healthy sex and healthy relationship programs on a one-to-one and in a group basis over the years. I have seen and heard pretty much everything that there is to see and hear. So I'm here for you to make you change your life and change the way that you have dealt with things and to heal from the past, to be able to then attract the person that is right for you. And I truly feel that there are people out there that are right for everyone. With that, we're going to go on to online dating profiles. So as with in person, first impressions really, really matter. You look at something and you instantly decide, yes, I like it. No, I don't like it. That is the same with an online dating profile. The difference is that actually there's so much more choice. So if you were out at the park, at the gym, in a cafe, there might be maybe 10 women that are there and 10 men, maybe. But online dating profiles, there is literally thousands of people you can swipe and swipe and swipe. No, I don't like the look of that. I don't like the look of that. I don't like their nose ring. I don't like their hair because it has one bit that comes in front of their face on that particular picture. You can be very, very picky on an online dating profile. And your first impression to somebody else really, really matters, because that's all they're getting from you. They're not getting a nice video of, hi, I always say John. No, I'm going to think of a new person. Hi, I'm Dean. And I really like going hiking, all of that stuff. They don't get that. They just get a picture and a few words. So let's start with photos. Photos are the first thing that a person sees normally on an online dating profile. So think about when you've looked at things before. Think about maybe on social media where you followed someone that you work with and you look at them and you think, you don't look like that in person. I've done it loads. That is the same with an online dating profile. Your picture needs to actually look like you, not you 10 years ago, not you 5 years ago. It needs to actually look like you. It needs to be a recent photo of you. Because if someone is trying to make a decision about whether they like you based from a photo, and they say, yes, I do like, actually, they look amazing, really attracted to them, let's go for it. And then you meet up in person, it's either really embarrassing because you're like, oh, I don't actually look like my profile picture, or they instantly go, you tricked me. Even if they're still attracted to you, it starts to create a distrust straight away because you haven't actually been honest in your picture. We all are self-conscious. All of us are really self-conscious. And I do actually advise people to go and get a proper photographer to take these pictures of you. Or if you can't afford that, or you just don't have time because obviously it's time consuming, get one of your friends, but make sure that you are face on. I've seen profiles where people are literally like this. Can you see what I look like that? No. I've seen pictures, men that I've worked with, um, of the back of their head, who no one is picking, or some very, maybe unwell people. I'll probably get told off for saying that, because I'm sure there are lots of people that say looks don't matter. And that is very true when you're in a relationship, and you love that person, and looks on everything. But realistically, no one is picking someone from the back of their head or the side of their face, because my automatic assumption when I see that is that there's something different about the other side of their face, or they're hiding the side of their face for a reason. Why? Does it mean that they're already in a relationship and they don't want their current partner to find out that they're on a dating app? So they've got the side of their face. Who knows? Show a few different photos. So not just one of your face straight up. Obviously that is a good one. But you can show a few. Obviously, just with me, here's me with my glasses, here's me without, here's me with my hair up. No, wrong way around. Here's me with my hair down, and here it is up. You could show yourself doing a variety of different things. If you do enjoy running, maybe a picture of you running, but I wouldn't ever put a picture of you kind of doing this at the gym, or anything like that, because that just gives off show off vibes. And in the women's world, and I don't know if men actually know about this, the men that I work with know about it because I talk about it, but we have this thing called small penis syndrome. And what that is we're basically saying that this man pumps himself up so much. He, talks about how great he is so much that we actually think that he's got a small penis. most of the time that might not be true, but people that show off too much, and it's okay to be proud of yourself. You know, if you've had some great achievements, absolutely be proud of them. If you climbed Mount Everest, yes, you should be proud of that. That is hard. It's hard. If you know another language, that's great. Obviously, I'm going off tangent of the whole photo thing, but there are things that you can be proud of, but you don't need to be like, this is all I am, or I lift this heavy. And we'll talk about bios a little bit more, but there are people that put that in their bios, that that's how heavy they lift. And, you know, no one cares. You care. And as someone that does go to the gym, and I used to be very overweight, and when I first started at the gym, again, I'm going off on a tangent. When I first started at the gym, I could only lift like 1 kilogram weights, and I was, you know, I was very unfit, I was very unhealthy, I could not use the cross trainer at all. Now I lift 6 kg for a bicep curl. And to some of you may be like, 6 kg, what's that? That's nothing. That's like a tin of beans or whatever. But for me, that's a massive achievement. And for some people, that would be a massive achievement. If you've never been to the gym before, that's a massive achievement. So they are things that you should celebrate. And if you have those kind of, oh, I want to push it a little bit further, or I want to go run a marathon. I don't want to do that, but if you are one of those people, then that's great. You just don't need to brag about it. Anyway, off on a tangent. Use a variety of photos is the point. So a good headshot, a full body shot, because there is nothing worse than and I watched a TV program where this happened. It was a real life program, so it's like, this is fact. And the man and the woman have been talking. They've been talking for like 2 years online, and they'd only ever seen each other like the way that you're seeing me. You're not seeing me stood up. If you want to see pictures of me, like my full profile, go onto the website thesmr&x.com. There are pictures of my whole body. But anyway, they were in different countries. I can't even remember where. That part wasn't significant. And he had only ever seen, like, from here upwards. They decided they were going to meet, they were going to get married, they were so happy together, this, that, and the other. And she got off the plane, and he stood there with his little plaque with her name on it. And she goes up to him, and he is like, oh, hi. And in his interview, bear in mind, this was being videoed, like the whole reaction. In his interview, he actually said, she's bigger than I thought. And this isn't against anyone that is overweight or, you know, is perfectly happy with the way that they look. That's completely fine. I don't talk about kind of body issues in any part of my program, because I think people are happy where they're happy. It's not my opinion that counts, or anyone else's really, as long as they're happy. However, if someone has pictured you looking a certain way, and that's what happens if you don't see them, you use your brain to imagine what they actually look like. So if you're not putting a full body shot of yourself, and a woman is looking at your online profile and all they see is this top half, and they think that you look like you lift weights when actually you're a runner, or they are looking for someone with a bit of meat, is I think the saying, who isn't really, really skinny. Then when you show up to meet each other, they're going to have the same reaction because you aren't how they pictured you. Whereas if you've got a full body shot, you've got a headshot, it's completely out there. And it makes it so much easier for someone to say yes or no if you are completely honest. Like I say, this isn't about how people look. You know, I have my preferences. You will have your preferences about how a woman looks. And that is exactly the same with every woman that looks at your online dating profile. They will have their own preferences. You just need to make sure that they can see all of you. And I'm not talking about penises. Smile, be approachable. If I was like this the whole way through the video, would you want to listen? Would you want to watch me? No. So yeah, just facial expression. If you do struggle with that, like I say, go get a photographer who can get you to do things like that a lot easier. I have another business and we work very closely with photographers, and they are geniuses and they are absolutely brilliant at getting people who are nervous. And that's what it is, being nervous in front of a camera. I felt it the first time I went on camera. Getting people who are nervous to take great photos. So yeah, go seek out the professionals and get them to help you. And lastly, high quality photos. So you've got a blurry picture on there. Again, people are thinking, have they got something to hide? It is really as simple as that. If you can't see someone quickly, and I think now, you know, the latest statistics and information that's come out is that people judge within 3 seconds of seeing something. So you have got to be very quick on the mark of whether you are attracting that person straight away. They've got 3 seconds, so that's 1, 2, 3 photos. There you go. Quick, quick. Am I attracted to this person? Yes, no, bye. 3 seconds. If your picture is blurry, you're done. Straight away, you're done. This isn't about how attractive someone is. It isn't about the way that someone looks. It's simply about the fact that if your picture is blurry, you are automatically deemed as untrustworthy. You shouldn't do in photos. Don't have a group photo on there. So people need to work out who is who. As I've said, 3 seconds. In those 3 seconds, if there's 6 people in a photo and they're trying to work out, oh, who is it? Which person is in this photo? They've swiped, they've gone. You've lost them. 3 seconds gone. So don't have group photos. It is tempting if you are anxious and this isn't something that boosts your confidence. It is tempting to have other people in the photos, but you've got to love yourself. I know that's very easy to say sitting on the other side of a camera, but ultimately, you are wonderful. You are perfect for somebody else. You are attractive to somebody else, maybe several somebody else's. And you've got to own that and you've got to remember that. And if you don't feel overly confident, before you get someone to take your picture, just keep repeating it. I am beautiful. I am worthy. I would make a great husband. Shout it, say it out loud, and then those photos will make you look confident. You don't need other people in those photos. You are amazing yourself. You don't need those other people. So yeah, no group photos is my point. Please keep your top on. Shirtless selfies, even if you have got an 8-pack and it's amazing. You look like an idiot if you're there with your top off. Yes, women will go, oh, that's nice. That's sorry, I'm pretending I've got a phone. I have actually got my phone here. Oh, that's nice. I don't like men that show off. Bye. And that is literally it. That yes, you look great, and women will find it very attractive. The only women that are going to be contacting you, saying yes to you on an online dating app, if you've got a picture like that, are women that aren't suitable for you anyway, because they are women that are only interested in the whole aesthetic. And the men that I work with, and by the point to like when they get to the end of their journey, they realize that actually the aesthetics and the things that appear to your naked eye are not the things that are important. If you're listening to this or watching this, whichever way you've got this, whether I'm in your ears or you're literally watching me, you will get to that point where you realize actually it's not all about the looks, it's about the human as well. You know, you can have the most beautiful people in the world where literally you're a couple and you walk down the street and people turn and they're like, wow, how beautiful are they? Their babies are going to be gorgeous. And those two people literally have not one thing in common and can't talk to each other, but they are beautiful. So yeah, shirtless photos are a no. And I'm pretty sure if you think about it, if you're listening to this, you're watching this because you actually want a fulfilling relationship. If it was the other way around, the women on the dating apps that are there in just a bra, are they the people that you're thinking, I'm going to make her my wife? Or are they the people that you're thinking, I'm going to have a hookup with because they're beautiful, but that's not what I want out of a wife? Would I show that picture to my mom or my grandma or whoever your significant person is? There you go. Don't wear sunglasses. I know, like, I've got my glasses on. Obviously, it's because I struggle to see. I don't know if you can see the reflection. There's a light. I wouldn't wear my sunglasses on this video because you would all be like, what's she got to hide? Why is she wearing sunglasses? Does she have her eyes open? Are they closed? Who knows? And that's the same in any photo, but an online dating profile photo. You've got sunglasses on, you've got something to hide. Sunglasses tend to make people look better as well. So automatically it's like, what's 3 seconds? They were already in those 3 seconds. I've talked myself out of clicking on your profile. I don't go on dating profiles, by the way, unless I'm helping my clients. I do have a husband, but I'm gone. And women are gone. You've got sunglasses on. You're untrustworthy. Bye. And lastly, the filters. We all love filters. I use filters, not as much anymore because I do talk about this so much with my clients that actually I don't want to be a hypocrite. My daughter, I've got a 15-year-old daughter, she uses filters all the time. And I'm like, you're so beautiful. Why do you need filters? But that is the world that we live in, and technology is making things, brilliant in some senses and not so brilliant in others. I would never use a filter, and I would never advise any of my clients to use a filter on their dating profile, or any like social media or anything really, because again, it's not a true reflection of you. People know when things have been filtered, and it makes you look untrustworthy. I don't know if you've noticed that there's a theme to this when I'm talking about pictures. There's a theme. everything is about trust. You've got 3 seconds to make that woman think he's not going to cheat on me. Because that's the kind of thing that goes around in a woman's head. Is he going to cheat on me? Would he be a good father? Would he be a good stepfather if they've got children already? Does he look like he is mature? Men without their tops on aren't mature in, the way that women think. So yeah, there's this theme. You need to look trustworthy. That's it. And the easiest way to do that is to be yourself. Even if there are parts of yourself that you are not happy with. So when I first got with my husband, and he's gonna kill me for talking about this probably, I had a real issue with my stomach. As I said, I used to be overweight and I'd lost a lot of weight by the time I got with him. I still had things that I was not happy about. And so before I met him, no other person had ever seen my stomach since I'd lost the weight. And he said to me, we hadn't even been together that long, and he was just like, let me see. And obviously my husband's very to the point, like me. So and I felt so comfortable with him that I did show my stomach, and he's so lovely, and I really hope that on YouTube I don't get any nasty comments about me talking about my stomach, because it is still something that I suffer with, despite the fact that I have someone that is constantly like, you're beautiful. In the back of my head I'm like, oh, that's disgusting. So we all have those things where we think, yuck. Does it stop me from wearing a bikini? No, because I'm over it, and actually it's not that bad. Compared to some people, it's really not that bad. I don't like to compare myself to people, but when you look at your own imperfections, there will always be someone that has worse imperfections. Just roll with them. There's nothing that you can actually do. There is nothing other than me undergoing surgery. There isn't anything that I can do for that. And for me, surgery isn't the answer. Again, I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but I had surgery, like a medical procedure, a few years ago, and it went really badly wrong. So I would probably not purposely put myself under surgery just for the sake of something that I'm not 100% happy about. It's too big of a risk for me. You just got to embrace those imperfections. And there will be someone out there, like my crazy husband, who is like, oh my God, you're beautiful. And there will be someone out there, if you've got an imperfection, that will go, that's beautiful. Because there is someone out there for you, imperfections and all. Now let's talk about the bio. Some people, there's like obviously different views on this, but I do think if you are being honest and about who you are and what you are looking for, and I don't mean some of the things that are said on dating apps, they're so particular. I want someone who is a size 6 and I want them to be 5'5" as a minimum. I don't mean though that specific, because these people again are just looking for perfection, and no, there is no one that is perfect. And I think I talked about your imperfections just a minute ago, but other people will have perfections, and that's fine. I think sometimes when people are going on these dating apps, they're like, the person has to be perfect, and perfection doesn't exist. No one is perfect. So just be honest about who you are. Show your personality. If you are a bit funny, put it in there. Be positive. Talking negatively instantly puts people off. And I would say be quite specific. So if you're talking about things that you like doing, or things that you're interested in, put that down. But don't put I like reading because reading what? What do you like reading? Be specific. What is your favorite book? What's your favorite band? I don't actually have a favorite band. If I was writing mine, I'm gonna get loads of judgment for this. My favorite music person is Eminem, of all time from when I was a teenager. But I like lots of different types of music. So yeah, be very specific, because it can tell a lot about a person. Don't put an essay because a lot of these apps are limited, like there's word counts are limited. But yeah, even if it's not, don't write an essay. No one wants to read an essay to decide whether they like this person or not. So other things that you shouldn't do: avoid negativity. Writing about I don't want no woman that is after money. I'm just looking at this question was asked on the internet and some of the responses. So rants about past dating experiences are a no. No, no, don't do it. No drama. That's another one. No one wants drama. You don't need to put it on a dating app. No one wants drama. Okay? In life, anywhere, not just with the person that they're dating. They don't want drama. Some people do seek out drama. But they're probably not the people for you. Put it that way. Don't put I only date women with blonde hair and blue eyes who are 5'6", who know how to walk in heels. You're describing a job, essentially, like a modeling job, or this is the way that the agents that find models and actors and actresses, this is what they receive. So say Coronation Street, I don't know. I don't even watch Coronation Street, but everyone knows what Coronation Street is. If you're in the US, you might not know what Coronation Street is, but sorry about that. They will send, maybe, to a casting agent, we want a person that is this size clothes, they've got red hair, they've got a specific accent. They send that through. You are not a casting agent, you are not a director, and people who you think are your type might be the people that are actually wrong for you. And consistently going after those type of people is maybe what is going wrong in your relationships. So don't be so specific and be open to other things. You're going to hear me talk about my husband loads, but he is, if I had a type, he is not my type. In everyone that I ever dated before him had light hair. They all had blue eyes. Oh no, I had this thing that I wanted my kids to have blue eyes anyway. They were all really skinny, and if you looked on my social media, there is a picture of my husband on there. He has very dark hair. He has brown eyes. He's got very large shoulders. He is the complete opposite of my type, or what I thought was my type. But we have a very, very good relationship. We laugh with each other, which is so important, laughing with each other. Compared to every other relationship that I've had in my life, this is the best one. And if my friends had been picking out for me the perfect guy based on what my type was, then he wouldn't have been it. And how sad that would have been for both of our lives. So don't be so specific, go with the flow, and just think in the back of your head. If you are too specific, you're automatically putting people off. One, because they're like, why are you so picky? I don't want to be with someone who is so picky about everything. And also, you might be missing out on someone that is actually really good for you. The other factor is that I think the latest stats is there's like 70% more. I might be wrong about that, but there's more men on dating apps than there are women. So you need to make yourself stand out, and doing stuff like that just isn't going to make that happen. Don't be overly sexual. Writing about breasts, writing about how big your penis is. Again, you're not going to attract the right people. You're listening to this, you're watching this because you actually want to find a proper relationship, not a hookup. So putting those things on your dating profile is never going to find that. It's only going to attract people that are looking for a hookup. If you think about in the olden days, I'll just say the olden days, think about when people met in person, when there was no dating apps. People didn't decide, and women didn't decide whether they wanted to be in a relationship with a man based on how big his penis was, because they didn't see it. So no one cares about that. You care about it, but women don't. I want to talk about messaging. So you've got your great profile, your picture is awesome. How do you start a conversation? I would always say write something personal. So look at their profile. If they've done the same as you and they've got a picture of them maybe doing something that they like, just make reference to it. Not in a, oh, I thought your boobs look great in this picture. Genuine comments. This is genuine stuff that people say to people on the internet. But just show that you have actually taken an interest in them and looked a little bit deeper than just what this part of their face looks like. Be polite and respectful. You know, my motto is getting off the app as soon as possible. But there may be times where you speak to someone, you like their profile, you speak to them, and actually you're like, actually, I don't want to go on a date with this person. Then be respectful about it and just say, I don't think that we're right for each other, or I don't want to take this any further. Don't just ignore people, because that's horrible, for one. You are sitting at the other end of a screen, so it's not as bad as actually telling someone face to face, we're not supposed to be together. Just be respectful about it. You are responsible for yourself. If they're not respectful, that's their problem. They are, they're not meant to be in your life. So leave them to it. You don't need to respond. When people are horrible to me, and over my life, I've had lots of people be horrible to me, and I've dealt with it in very different ways, and have had to learn to kind of be completely different. 15-year-old me would have been like, yeah, whatever, and shouted back. I'm not that person anymore. You don't have to respond to people. You're responsible for yourself. So you be respectful, and you can walk away from that conversation knowing that you were respectful, and that is the lasting impression that you give. Even if you two aren't meant to be together, you don't know who that person knows. And if they can turn around and say, yeah, I saw him on a dating app, we spoke for a little while, we realized that we weren't supposed to be, and you know what, he was so respectful about it. He didn't ghost me, he told me straight that he didn't think that it was right. And now it's led him to you, and I'm so happy about it. And they're genuine conversations that women have. You don't want someone going, oh, I saw him on a dating app, and you know what, he didn't talk to me, like we were having a nice conversation and then he just completely went off the radar. Or he said to me, I really don't like you. That's the kind of lasting impression that you make on people, and people do know each other. Ask open-ended questions. You could ask if they've got on their profile that they like traveling. You could say, where's the best place that you've ever traveled to and why? Don't ask questions that are like a yes or a no. Do you like coffee? Yes. You can ask questions that are open that will lead to more questions, and you get to know a lot about someone like that. So you start with, hi, my name's, I'm going to change it now, Derek. I don't know where I'm getting all these names from. How are you? And it starts from there. I like the look of your profile. I'd really like to get to know a little bit more about you. What do you love most about your job? I can see that you are, and whatever. So pick out from their profile what they've said and then go from that. So if they've said that they're a doctor, what do you love most about your job as a doctor? Maybe not add as a doctor, because obviously we've clearly looked at that. Use the profile to guide your open-ended questions. One of the ones like that you might want to be a little bit careful with is like if they say they like walking their dog, don't say, where's your favorite place to walk the dog? What's your favorite park? Because that would automatically send like safety alarm bells going off in a woman's head. So maybe not ask like specific destinations about where they are like currently. So, you know, what hospital do you work at? Skip that question. Unless they're already at a point where they trust you. Later on down the line, of course, you can ask that. But in the beginning parts of the conversation, don't ask anything that would make that woman feel unsafe, would make that woman think that you're going to show up at her place of work, at the place where she runs every day, at the gym. Because ultimately, on a dating app, if you two decide that you don't, you know, you're not there for each other, for whatever reason, she didn't want to see you in the park. So she doesn't want to tell you that because she doesn't know whether she likes you yet. So avoid that. Open-ended questions are good, but just go with it into like a caution. Stay on safe questions. And if you're unsure, and I know I've spoke about this before, say it out loud before you send the message. And if it feels uncomfortable, retype the message. And keep it light. Don't go really deep of, you know, tell me about a time that your heart was broken. Like we've just met. And if we just met in the street, hi, I'm Sam. Your name is Derek. Tell me about some traumas from when you was a kid. We've all got them. That's fine. Are you going to tell me? No. You wouldn't do that in the street. So don't do it online. I think people forget and they get a little bit overconfident that they can ask extra things that they wouldn't ask in person when just meeting a person. Other things to avoid, kind of generic messages. So, hey, what's up? They don't make you stand out. And at the age that I'm at, I'm not that old, but if someone messaged me saying, what's up, I would think that that was from a child. So just be mindful of using kind of generic chat. Don't come on too strong. You can say stuff like, and you don't even need to be one of my clients, but you could say, I've been listening to a dating coach and she says that we should get off the app as soon as possible. But if you're not comfortable with that, then we can carry on chatting here. But I actually like you and I would like to meet you for coffee. Just coffee. That coffee is very straightforward. It's in a public place. You can instantly decide within that cup of coffee whether you like that person enough to spend any more money going on another date with them. If you use the whole, this person that I'm listening to encourages that, you don't need to say dating coach. You just say this person that I listen to, or I listen to a podcast and their advice is to meet up in person, no pressure. Always put no pressure, but I do think that you get to decide whether you like someone a lot quicker in person. Don't expect them to go too far. I don't mean ask them where they live, but I saw on one thing that someone wanted picking up from an airport like an hour away, just so they could go on a date. This was a man that wanted the woman to pick up for a first date and they'd met on a dating app. No. Would you drive an hour out of your way to go pick up a person that you don't know and not get any money for it because you're not a taxi service? No, you would not. So, yeah, keep it neutral. Don't be like, oh, come to my house, because that's, again, safety alarm bells going off, but it's not a neutral ground and it's not as easy to just be like, oh, bye. Make sure that you sound positive and upbeat. And if you're not feeling that way, then don't open the message until you are. It's as simple as that. Because if you're feeling negative, and it could be something, work, whatever, has happened, you will come across in the same way. It's very difficult to come across in a different way. It's, for example, if I just had an argument with my husband and then tried to come on and record this for you guys, I wouldn't be upbeat and I probably wouldn't be able to talk to you in the same way. And it would come across not very well, and no one would want to listen because I'm like, relationships are great when I don't actually feel that way. Do you get my point? Don't not respond for days because you won't feel sad for days. Well, unless someone died, and that's a little bit of a different kind of story, and you're probably not in the right frame of mind to be dating anyway when something like that happens. But just leave it a little while if you're not in a happy place to be able to actually respond in a happy way. And lastly, don't rush for the personal information. I know I said that a little bit earlier, don't be asking them where they live. Don't be asking about if they've said they've got children. Don't be asking about their children's names or where they go to school. Just keep it very, very light because they don't know you. And certainly, like our generation, when we grew up, we were taught stranger danger. Definitely, women were taught, don't talk to strangers, don't talk to strange men. And on the internet, that's what you actually are. You're a strange man, and they like the look of you, but they might want to get to know you, but ultimately they are looking for what they've been taught, that men are monsters. Because and it's not our parents' fault, but as parents, our parents have said to particularly women and those people that are listening that have got sisters, will know this, that from being very young, women are taught it is not safe, men are not safe, and you have to be careful. So you just need to keep that in the back of your head. And those of you that have got sisters will already be well aware of this and don't need me to point out that. But those that don't have sisters and didn't have girls as friends when they were younger and don't have female friends now, you probably don't realize that constantly from being of an age that you can talk, a female has, most females, I'm generalizing here, most females have been taught that men can be very dangerous and you have to keep yourself safe. So anything that you can do to make them feel safe is great. Don't ask them for personal information if they don't know you. So there you go. I'm going to give you 3 things, even though you all know that I hate dating apps and I don't want you to be on them, and I tell my clients to get off them, and some of the really, really stubborn ones stay on them, and then we look at their dating profile and we go through it. But I've given you your picture, your bio, and your beginning messages. I really, really want you all to be able to create those genuine connections with people, because that is what humanity is about. Genuine connection. No one wants to be lonely. Loneliness leads to sadness, and no one wants that. And I certainly don't want that for you. So there you go. Even though it goes against everything that I believe in. I really hope that you have found this useful. If you have found it useful, drop me a little comment. I reply to all my comments. If you're listening on the podcast, please give me, well, if you don't think it's 5 stars, then obviously don't give me 5 stars. Maybe if you don't think it's 5 stars, just don't give me any star. Don't review. Don't do that. But if you do think that it's, you know, been useful to you to listen, then give me a nice review, because everyone loves a nice review. Subscribe. That really helps you get more of this information. And obviously, if this was helpful, then you resonate with me and I resonate with you, or I'm here, I want to help. And lastly, if you do want to find out a little bit more about me, you can find me at thesmr&x.com. Thank you, and I'll speak soon.